world over, in different countries, in different continents, in different time zones, in different conditions. On 3rd of January 2021, that's a beautiful sunny Sunday, and we wish you all a wonderful, happy, and a prosperous new year. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about the jewel of India. The Honorable Prime Minister of India calls it Ashtalakshmi, 8 beautiful states of India. They are called the northeast part of India. It is our India ASEAN joint series, and where we are focusing today on education ecosystem empowerment. This afternoon, this evening, and depending on your time zone, this morning, this afternoon, we extend a very hearty welcome to Professor Mahendra P. Lama from the Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi, who is a very, very distinguished and an eminent speaker. He has been coming from time to time and a wonderful pedagogies, collaboration, creativity, innovation, critical thinking, analytical thinking, logical thinking, out of the box thinking, strategic thinking, futurology. That's also we use a term. So on behalf of ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, ICSI, we extend a very hearty welcome to all our brothers and sisters who are joining this program, and also 31 million overseas Indians in different countries and different continents. We understand the whole world in 2020 has passed through very difficult times. The thought processes got affected, business got affected, physical and mental health got affected, and the main part of the universe, that is education, got deeply affected. And when we talk about education, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important to understand over here 1.65 billion children. They were away from schools, colleges, universities, institutions, polytechnics, ITI, skill centers, and the whole world during pandemic. What the world has passed through 2020, it's a beyond imagination. During this pandemic, from our chamber side, we have been going to different locations, different places, and we have been reaching out all the youth, those who are stranded, those who are at different locations. This is all in the white costume. You see me, in spite of medical advice that at my age I should not be, but I have been going around, I've been moving around, and I found that my life has got a meaning, my life has got a purpose, and I've got to do something for the humanity, whatsoever best we can do. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Prime Minister, he had a virtual summit, 17th India ASEAN Summit, which was held on 12th of November. And when the ASEAN countries participated, and it focused on connectivity, trade and commerce, maritime cooperation, capacity building, and the most important is education, and that is education collaboration. Wonderful, 8 beautiful states of northeast part of India and 10 beautiful countries. There is 650 million population. When we talk about Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, all beautiful countries with our 8 beautiful states. We have got Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura, Mizoram, and beautiful Sikkim. These are 8 wonderful Ashtalakshmi, wonderful people, vibrant people, culture-based people, innovative people, art, craft, cuisine, culture, dances, music, everything including the flora and fauna, the mountains, the scenic beauty, and serene, green, and wonderful area which has been gifted by God to Almighty to India. Northeast India has got a rich cultural heritage for all of us, and our youth are very, very innovative and vibrant. Heartiest congratulations to Honorable Prime Minister of India, the new education policy 2020, which has been given on 29th of July at 4 p.m. in the evening. And our deep regards to Shri Narendra Modi ji and Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji. It's a wonderful policy. School education and higher education getting to the new trajectories and new heights, new innovation, a lot of creativity. Coding coming from 6th class, no separation between arts, commerce, and science. vocational skills and competencies and capabilities becoming more important than the academics curriculum. Education now is learning centric. It's not teaching centric. It's learning centric. The Honorable Donor Minister is very keen to empower the entire northeast part of India. Our deep regards to Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, the Honorable Minister of State, independent charge for development of the northeast, and a couple of the confluence which is taking place, the donor ministry, the Northeast Council, state government in the all 8 states, education department, tourism department, skill department, youth welfare department, women and child development, tribal welfare department, and many others which we have taken into consideration. Need of the hour, education, empowerment, skills, entrepreneurship, and startup. That part has to be taken care of. Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. After this pandemic, a lot of hand-holding of the youth has to be done so that they can start their new ventures, they can start their new business, they can be more innovative and creative. That part is very important. A lot to be done by all of us. So our focus should be the youth of Northeast. They got to be given the first priority. That is something very, very important, which we have to take care of. Their skills and competencies have to be developed to the next height. Kaushal Bharat, Kushal Bharat, which we have to take care of. Their vocational skills, their vocational education, right from the 6th standard onward, has to be taken into consideration. Then educators' empowerment is very important. Our teachers' empowerment is very important. Right type of the skills which has to be imparted, that is something the need. And the training is very important. Capacity building is very important. And skills are going to be more important than your academics and your course contents. And ladies and gentlemen, all the research and search what we have done, we will share with all of you. Now the soft skills, the latest study which has come from Howard, 85%, the focus is going to be on soft skills, and approximately 15% that is going to be on your hard skills. And that is the way. So adaptability, creativity, critical thinking, resilience, and self-management is very important. Our chamber helps all the organizations the best possible way. Are you in government or are you in private? Are you in school, college, university, wherever you are? Irrespective whether you're government or you're private, if you want to set up incubation center, you want to set up finishing lab for soft skill and life skill, you are interested to set up utter tinkering lab, we would be more than happy to support you and help you. And thereafter, ladies and gentlemen, the core areas which our chamber had taken, and you would be so happy to know, during this pandemic, we have been having 12 hours beaming every day. And what we are focusing is global skills and the competencies to our children with focus on soft skills and life management skills, which are more important. And ICSI is proud that we brought the new concept of finishing school in India, where etiquettes, manners, gesture, body language, personality, articulation, communication skills, creativity, critical thinking, logical thinking, analytical thinking, and what's your best you can do. Northeast has got another tremendous potential which we would like to share with all of you. It has got maximum herbal plants. When you talk about greenery, and now the world is shifting from health to wellness. And when we talk about wellness, in wellness you have got yoga, you have got meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, organic, whatever you talk about. Thereby, Northeast is very, very important. Proper study to be done on all the plants, and these plant species can give a lot of inputs to Ministry of Ayush and Ayurveda. But our focus should be teachers empowerment and youth empowerment. We would be more than happy from our chamber to help out any state in any respect, because we believe holistic education is something very important. And what is holistic education? It's a confluence of your education with skills and skills with your startup and entrepreneurship. Don't think about there are going to be too much of jobs. That means employment in future. You want to go for self-employment. You want to go for startup, you want to go for stand-up, and you want to be your own boss. For that matter, we would be more than happy to help you. Imagine ICSI have been organizing various conferences and events in northeast part of India. We had been going to different locations. We organized summit in Nagaland. We had gone to Manipur. Today is our distinguished guest. He was also with us in Manipur. Then comes ASEAN. You had advantage ASEAN. You had 6,000 delegates from abroad, from different countries. Those had come to address and to be a part of that. Imagine what potential. Then we were also at the inauguration, felicitating and facilitating ASEAN Study Center, which was set up in Nehu. And that was something remarkable with ICCR. And then Northeast ASEAN Business Summit and Expo, that is 7th to 9th of April in Manipur and Imphal. Then in Mumbai, ladies and gentlemen, we had gone Northeast children, Northeast teachers, Northeast educators, Northeast people. They have tremendous potential for media entertainment industry. The entire region has got a tremendous potential. So they find a term called cinematic tourism. That means Northeast being a destination for radio, television, theater, music, films, whatever we can think of with ASEAN, wonders can be done. Northeast India is a strong pillar for India-ASEAN joint collaboration. The Honorable Prime Minister's vision, Act East policy, and also, ladies and gentlemen, like Honorable Prime Minister has conveyed, and we all know, foreigners will not be traveling to India. Inbound tourism from abroad will be minimal. I mean to say, and you have to focus on tremendous potential of our domestic tourism. Do visit Northeast in 2021. They have got ecotourism, nature tourism, rural tourism, flora and fauna tourism, green tourism, rainforest tourism, Buddhist tourism, cultural tourism, Muslim tourism, heritage tourism. So when we talk about, we are having about 26 webinars per week at present from our chamber to empower the entire education ecosystem. So ladies and gentlemen, we wish to share with all of you that till 31st of December, the research which we have gathered and the synthesizes which we are carrying out, it emerges that your basic food, your basic health, and your basic education is the most important thing. B2B is going to be back to basic and sustainable development, which you have to take care of, all of us. There are 6 recommendations from our side, which we wish to give. Education is the sector to be focused to make India self-reliant. Government of India should encourage investment in education sector. SEZ, what we were calling special economic zone, it should be called now special education zone. And that should be given lots of importance. And whatever corporate spend 2% of their CSR on various activities, we would request them for the next 5 years, let's have that investment only in education sector so that we can reach the target of the government, the 6% of the GDP, which has to be spent on the education sector. Then at the same time, 500 top corporate of India should contribute to education sector empowerment for the next 5 years. That is also something very important. Our own Indians, leading corporate houses, they should be a part of this particular campaign. And Government of India should to focus on seamless connectivity. You have to give bandwidth to entire Northeast region. You have to give basic equipment, at least the mobile phone, more radio frequencies, more television channels, more dish antennas. Whatever we can do, we should try and reach every school, every nook and corner, every region. And our non-resident Indian friends, brothers and sisters, every Sunday we have got a program with you at 8 p.m. Today also we have got a program with you. We would like to make a humble request to you. All NRIs and Indian diaspora spend for next 5 years only on education sector in India. So ladies and gentlemen, whatever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. नववर्ष की आप सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। इन्हीं कामनाओं के साथ आज शाम को इस प्रोग्राम के बाद 5 बजे आपका स्पेशल प्रोग्राम है preparing MSMEs for global competitiveness and exports. Then tonight at 8 p.m., we have got a special program from the NRIs. You will have Mr. Vankarji and you will have Dr. Vivek Shankar Natarajanji joining us at 8 p.m. today on deliberations, and that is going to be social entrepreneurship. Now, wellness is very, very important, as I told you, journey which has taken place to the new heights. So, ladies and gentlemen, wellness we should take care of, and that's why with the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, from tomorrow, Monday, 5 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are starting a special series, ICSI for Wellness with Sector Skill Council. अभी बच्चों के पैसे भी खर्च हो गए, माता पिता की आमदनी भी कम हो गई, बच्चों को पैसे भी चाहिए, पॉकेट मनी भी चाहिए. So 12:30 Monday to Sunday from tomorrow we are starting a special program for all of you, how to use social media for your pocket money. अब जो बच्चा लोग हैं वो सोशल मीडिया पर तो जाएंगे, फेसबुक पर भी जाएंगे, इंस्टाग्राम पे भी जाएंगे, ट्विटर पे भी जाएंगे, यूट्यूब पर भी जाएंगे, आपके पास जो जो अदारे हैं सब पर आप जाएंगे, क्योंकि आपको पॉकेट मनी के लिए इजी रास्ता है. And for that matter, we are starting a special program from tomorrow, that is at 12:30 in the afternoon. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome to Professor Mahendra P. Lamaji, the professor from the JNU, that is from Center for South Asian Studies, School of International Study. He is the founder, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Sikkim. Imagine at the age of 40. Presently, member eminent persons group of Nepal and India, set up by the Prime Minister of India and Nepal. Formerly the Pro Vice Chancellor, IGNU, that is Indira Gandhi Open University. He worked there as well. Formerly the Pro Vice Chancellor I mentioned you, he has been associated with a number of national and international organizations, including New Delhi's prestigious India International Center, UGC, Sahitya Academy, National Book Trust, Indian Council for World Affairs, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and many more. He has delivered several special public lectures in the institutions, both in India and abroad, like Yale University, Oxford University, Stanford University, Notre Dame University, New Delhi University, New School University, National Defense College, which is basically for Army, Air Force, Navy, IFS, and IS professionals, and has been in collaboration with a large number of universities and other research institutes in South Asia, China, and Japan, and US at various ministries of Government of India. His areas of interest specializations are regional cooperation and integration, energy, trade, investment, migration, security and border security, border studies, hill and mountain studies, and northeast region of India. He has written and edited several books and scholarly articles, and some of his works have been translated into Japanese, Japan, French, and German language. Presently, he is working on a vision document 2035, asked by the Prime Minister of India through Niti Aayog on northeast part of India. We extend a very hearty welcome to Professor Mahendra P. Lama to empower the educators, and youth of northeast part of India. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very hearty welcome to Professor Mahendra P. Lama ji. Namaskar. Wishing you a wonderful Happy New Year, great year ahead, and let's take the journey onward how to empower the Northeast education ecosystem in India. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Gulshan Sharma. Namaste to all of you. And today, Delhi is witnessing a very heavy rains. So I would not be surprised if our internet connectivity is little disturbed, right? So, but it's unusual. unusual situation in Delhi, a lot of thunderstorms also. Thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this very valuable and very interesting webinar on education in the Northeast region of India. Uh, all of us know that Northeast region is one of the most vital and one of the most beautiful regions of India. It's a small place. It's a small geography, which is just 8.8% of India's total geographical land, 4% of India's population, and 4% of India's gross domestic product. But it has eight beautiful states, as Honorable Prime Minister keeps mentioning about Ast Lakshmi, right? And Ast Lakshmi are, in real sense of the term, Ast Lakshmi, because all the eight members have different characteristic features, different demographic features, or different racial features also to a large extent. And all the 80 states have very varied geography, very varied uh, production patterns, very varied culture, and of course, language and even natural resources. Therefore, very interesting thing about the Northeast is something which is unique in India. That is, uh, 98% of the geographies of the lands or the international borders of the Northeast regions are with the neighboring countries, and only 2% is with the mainland, what you call mainland India or mainstream India. 98% of the borders are with neighboring countries, means we have a huge borders with China, with Nepal, with Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. And there are all kinds of borders. You can say these borders are open borders, porous borders, barbed wire borders, natural borders, totally fenced borders, all kinds of borders are there. So the interesting feature is, if you want to see a variety of borders, right, managed by different international systems, you should go to Northeast. But you will find nowhere in the world you will find in such a small geography so many varieties of borders. So that itself becomes a major part of our education, right? And these are not only border as a geometric line. That means what? That means it is not a border which is a geometric line. That means which is, if you cross this geometric line, then you will be violating the national security or the national sovereignty of another country. It's basically a borderland. It's not a border where you have interactions, economic interactions, migrations, you have smuggling, you have water resources coming from that side. You have people going and opening hard bazaars that side of the border, tourism, pilgrimage, culture, marriages, food, all kinds of things, and all other things also like smuggling, terrorism, insurgencies, all kinds of things are. So it's a very unique border which you may not really find in any parts of India so vividly and so conspicuously or so remarkably. The other interesting feature of the Northeast region is, every one of us know that this is the only region where you have a region-centric ministry in the country, right? Say, for example, you don't have a ministry of Jammu and Kashmir, or you don't have a ministry of Kerala, ministry of for the development of Pondicherry, or even West Bengal or Maharashtra based in Delhi. But this is the only region we have a Ministry of Development of Northeast region headed by a full-fledged minister. And This is unique. That means government of India has been of has has really given extreme attention to what you call development status of this place. The third interesting thing is you have very special features about the Northeast region. You have special constitutional provisions Article 371F. Then you have a special development planning commission, something like planning commission, that is Northeastern Council. Then you have several Northeast specific institutions, say for example, Northeast Development Financial Institutions, or Northeast Power Development Corporates, all kinds of institutions. So this is something very interesting. Third, interesting is, all the ministries in the government of India, almost 55 ministries and departments, would devote 10% of their annual budgets in Northeast, right? That means, and that is a non-lapsable. That means that would not lapse in the month of March. So it will be a pool of fund which will 10% of the budget means agriculture department, the science and technology. It's a huge budget. So you have a lot of resources going that side in the Northeast region. And they all come under special category states. So that means government of India would pay on 90% of development funds. Only the 10% are to be made by states. So you have several characteristic features of the Northeast region. But you have several problems in the Northeast region. One serious problem in the Northeast region is, despite 70 plus years of independence, still many of the geographies in the Northeast are not connected. It is not connected within the state. It is not connected between two states in the Northeast. It is not connected between the states and the rest of India. And it is not connected between the states and the rest of the neighboring countries. So it is there is some kind of a lack of four-way connection, despite the fact that government of India, particularly in the last 6 years, have been really pushing through large number of connectivity projects, right? The second is there has been some kind of a kind of a very uh, difficult and a very unfriendly narrative about the Northeast region. People think that we should not go to Northeast because there is insurgency, there is violence, the people are this, the place is like this, right? So this kind of narrative has been created across the country and outside the country by some forces, right? And that has damaged the development process in the Northeast. Very few investors would like to go here. Very few real, tourism agencies would like to go there. Very few private institutions would like to go there because of this. Whereas the situation is absolutely warm, friendly, and to a large extent, even very, very welcoming. And the fourth major problem is, you know, the everybody thinks that the people of the Northeast, the geography of the Northeast should really integrate with the rest of India, right? And rest of India is what? Calcutta, Madras, Mumbai, Delhi. And we say that why should we integrate with the rest of India? Why not the rest of India integrate with the Northeast part of India? We call it reverse integration. If you see the map of our country, you will find Northeast India as the head, right? Connected by a small chicken neck, that is the Siliguri Darjeeling district corridor joining the northeast part of India. And the rest of the body is the rest of India. So the head is northeast of India, and the body is the what you call the rest of India. So what we are saying by saying that we should integrate with the rest of India is that the body will direct, or body will drive the head, which is unnatural, which is unusual. Actually, it is the head which should drive the body, right? It is the head which should direct the body. So we want Northeast region as a head should direct the body. So it is very, very logical, and it has a very natural, what you call it, uh, natural force that would bind the entire Northeast India with the rest of India. Therefore, I would like to say that we should first, whenever we talk about Northeast, today we are going to discuss about education in the Northeast. So first, few prejudices about the Northeast uh, uh, among the people across India and outside India should be first decimated, or should be first uprooted and eliminated from the minds, hearts, knowledge, eyes from of everyone, because this is actually not so. A kind of artificially, uh, cultivated narrative has been floated around. So this kind of prejudices should no longer be there because of two very significant factors. First is our prime minister and the previous government declared look east policy. Then the prime minister made it an act east policy. And in the act east policy, the real playing field for India as a whole is Northeast India, right? So this is going to be another, what you call, the growth pole of India. And secondly, Northeast region is very, very critical because large number of activities are taking place in Southeast Asia and East Asia, right? Including in ASEAN countries, in East Asian countries, Korea, China, Japan, all these countries. So I think, and one of the very critical geographies that would connect our country with the Southeast Asian countries and East Asian countries, where many things are happening. Strategic geopolitical activities are happening. Large number of economic restructuring is happening. Market expansion, value chains, supply chains are happening, right? Countries are redrawing their foreign policies, military policies in Southeast Asia. So that's going to be another major theater. The entire global world is eyeing on Southeast Asia, East Asia. You have North Korea on the one hand, right, attracting countries like Europe and Japan and US, whereas you have South China Sea, where we're attracting large number of countries. You have China doing pretty big things under the Belt and Road initiatives, and India trying to do major development activities, major connectivity activities that side. Therefore, this is very, very critical. And in this context only, I think we should discuss a theme, a very critical theme, like education in the northeast part of India. Yes, Dr. Sawa, would you like to comment on what I said?
Just a second. Before I go to, thank you very much for giving the basic foundation of the entire deliberation and discussion. Before I go to ASEAN, let us first of all see within Northeast itself, how do we strengthen the infrastructure related to education? Because a large number of youth, right from school education, whether it is school education or it's a higher education or it's a technical education or it's a skill-based or vocational or whatever we are talking about, how do we build first of all a very sound infrastructure related to, and I'm not taking education alone, education to be clubbed with skills and education and skills to be clubbed with ventures and avenue related to entrepreneurship, self-employment, startup, whatever you want to take on, all that, how would you look at that first scenario before I go to Southeast Asia or to ASEAN?
Uh, you see, now it's picking up pretty fast. All the educational institutions are developing the way they should be developing, I must tell you. Though northeast region of India received the modern educational institutions pretty late as compared to rest of India. If you see Madras University, Bombay University, Banaras Hindu University, Aligarh Muslim University, Calcutta University, right? And if you see the universities in the Northeast, as compared to these very old universities across the country, Northeast India received its university system, particularly the national university system, pretty late. For example, uh, till 20 years back, there were very, very few national universities, right? It is only in the last 20 years we have had a number of central universities, uh, IITs, IIMs, NITs, triple ITs, all kinds of institutions uh, are now going to northeast part of India, right? And whereas IITs, IIMs in the rest of India, if you see Calcutta, Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, they have been set up at least 60 years back, 50 years back. Therefore, we started pretty late, right? Because of a number of reasons. Let's not discuss that reasons. But now we have the right opportunity to really set up range of institutions across sectors, including in infrastructure, physical infrastructures, education, health, tourism, agriculture, right, industry, all kinds of activities. There's a huge scope for doing this. So for us in the Northeast, backwardness itself is an advantage, right? Because if it was not backwardness, people's aspirations, governmental attentions, and states' participation would have been much lower. So now everybody realizes that, yes, this is a geography that has been neglected. This is a geography which could be powerful. You would be surprised. Before independence, before uh, independence, that particular geography, mostly led by Assam, used to be one of the fastest growing economic poles of India. But in 1947, everything was totally disintegrated, disconnected. You know, people used to go from Calcutta to northeast through what you call the what you call the East Bengal. In 47, East Bengal became uh, Pakistan and later Bangladesh. And our railway systems, our waterway systems, our road transport systems, entire economic infrastructures and supply chains were absolutely badly disrupted. So this has a very huge historical underpinning also. But at the moment, I think we are at a very, very critical crossroad because of, I would say, three major factors. First is young children in the Northeast. I must tell, they are absolutely talented people, right? I have I have no hesitation in saying that they are naturally talented people. Our children, they smile, they love, they play with nature, they play with what all natural things. As a result of which, their interactions, close interactions with nature, has made them so talented, right? Unlike in Delhi, I don't have interactions with a forest. I hardly find any rocks around. I need to go all the way to Yamuna to see polluted water, right? You have so many problems. People do not know how the hatching is done by a hen, right? People do not know the migratory birds, varieties of fruits, right? So, but whereas if you go to North, every household practices all these things. Everybody is exposed to, the moment you go out of home means everything is natural, grass to grasshopper to all kinds of insects to birds and everything. So it's so people are, and they sing, and they bring in us happiness, joy, and that happiness, joy in turn creates internal, what you call, the takes out the best from you, and people are very, very creative. And ethnically also, people in the Northeast are creative. If the same Mongoloids variety ethnic groups in Japan are so talented, in Korea are so talented, Samsung to Toyota, to National Panasonic, to Huawei in China, to Vietnamese coffee. If the entire Mongoloid is stock in the entire Eastern, in the Southeast Asia are so talented, there's something which has not triggered this talent in the Northeast, right? Therefore, I think we are at a crossroad. I think our government state is widely making interventions in doing this. Prime Minister himself takes a lot of interest in the Northeast, and equally so in the past also. Uh, so first is there is an upsurge of talents among the youths of the Northeast. They would like to do something big, something out of box, something positive, something that reaches, and that is reflected to a large extent in large number of young boys and girls who are really doing the hospitality, serving the hospitality industry in India and abroad. You will find them across. The second important issue in the Northeast today is people, young boys and girls, they know the value of education. So they know that without education, they cannot protect their own culture. They cannot conserve their own intellectual and cultural heritage. Without education, they cannot do anything related to what you call their traditional resources known as traditional medicinal systems. Without education, they cannot be an IAS officer, they cannot be a military officer, or they cannot be an engineer or professionals. So large number of children and their parents are trying to give their children the best of education, right? Which is absolutely a new phenomenon in the northeast part. Everybody talks about education. Oh, my child is studying in Delhi in St. Stephen's. My child is studying in Delhi in Jawaharlal Nehru University, or in Madras University, or in Bangalore University. They take pride in that, which was not the case usually 30 years back, 25 years back, right? So there is uh, a huge momentum as far as urge to learn, as far as urge to acquire knowledge, and as far as urge to compete with the rest of India and in the global world. And the third very interesting feature of the Northeast region today is government is willing to go all out to support uh, the people, the institutions, right? So the only thing which is lagging in the Northeast today is the political leadership has not really risen to the occasion of what people really demand. There are very bright chief ministers in the Northeast, very interesting. One of the very, one of the, I would say they are relatively much brighter chief ministers in the Northeast. I can see as Meghalaya is doing absolutely brilliant work. Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, these are very young chief ministers, dynamic, outward looking, forward looking, right? These chief ministers are exposed to, technology, are exposed to external world. So I'm sure the honorable chief ministers will also galvanize themselves to do something big in the Northeast as far as education. So it is a very, very critical juncture, Dr. Sama. I would like to tell that we have to take off. This is what we have to do now. This is a stage where we really have to take off. It is a stage. W. Rostow in economics used to a stage of takeoff, and we have reached this stage of takeoff, and we should really take off. The the last thing about the what is happening is, for the first time, the locals are getting globalized. You know, globalization process in the Northeast and the rest of India also is one way. Whatever America produces, Microsoft, Apple, China produces, Huawei, then we get and we localize the globals, the McDonald's, the pizzas, the hamburgers, right? We have localized them, the globals. So the Coca-Cola, or all kinds of things, right? But what what we have to do in the Northeast, which is now gradually happening, is to globalize the locals. You have so much as far as locals are concerned. Every world is talking about fast food, junk food. People are cautioning, don't eat this food, don't eat. And Northeast is all about soft, is the slow food, right? And how do you globalize this slow food is very, very important. When Mericom goes to Olympic and wins a medal, right? Uh, when Das goes, and when this little girl, what's her name, Das goes all the way to Olympic and wins a medal, what they are that's basically doing is they are globalizing the locals, right? They are talented. They are globalizing the locals. Our music players, our sports, our drama intellectuals, our theater actors, our cinema uh, directors are all going abroad and doing this. This is something very, very positive, very, 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 what you call it, joyful, and very, very fulfilling for us.
Wonderful. Now that's a excellent, the broad spectrum you have given it to me. Now, two things which you have touched over here. One is the music part, then media entertainment industry. Youth are naturally talented. That also gives me something very nice. So one is that we got to focus on media entertainment in our industry in a very big way, as far as opening for our children in the Northeast are concerned. Secondly, I want to share, because before I move to Southeast Asia and ASEAN, there's one more area. There's a Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, and maximum herbal plants. When we talk about the maximum species are available in northeast part of India. When we talk about herbal plantation, when we talk about greenery, when we talk about some special plants which are required in Ayurveda, they are available in abundance. So some kind of a survey, some kind of a research, some kind of a startup, some kind of a entrepreneurship, like in Sikkim, the organic farming and other things. How do you look at the herbal medicinal plants being taken into consideration at the national level, and then even going up to the export, because immunity boosting was very important during the corona, this virus. So how do you look at that scenario of the Northeast?
You see, this is where education plays a very, very critical role.
Hmm.
Uh, because, you know, I was just seeing the data from the vision document of the Northeast 2035, which we are now
On which you are
finalizing
working,
for the
on which
Niti
you are
Aayog and
working,
for the on. Yes,
you are working
that's
on
right.
that
With
document,
the for the
Niti
yeah,
Aayog.
yes, for the for India Vision 2035 of the Honorable Prime Minister. It says that, out of the 6,500 species that are directly related to traditional medicinal systems at the local, national, and the global level, almost 60% of them are located in the Northeast,
Yes.
right? So you have huge natural resource base. Then you have all kinds of faith healers practicing this particular traditional medicinal systems from centuries and centuries, right? Say, for example, you have Dhami, Jakris, Fedangbas, Bonbos, all kinds of boom things, Nyabas, Don Yulopo, Bathao, Seng, Khasi, Sanamahi, Garia, all kinds of faith healers with a very distinct trait of harnessing these traditional medicinal systems, and they have been practicing. And I would say in the Northeast region, people would do both TMS and traditional medicinal systems and the modern allopathic medicinal systems side by side.
Okay.
For me, when I was a child, my grandfather used to, great grandfather, you whenever I used to have fever, my great grandfather used to boil, tell me, uh, why have you got this fever? I would say, I don't know. Yesterday evening, I had gone out to play and suddenly I got this fever. And he would tell me, okay, lie down there. And he would ask my great grandmother to boil some water and put some pieces of flowers. And the moment it is boiled, it is cooled down. Then I say, you sip it, drink it at one go. And I used to get absolutely fine with this traditional medical system. So when I grew up, when I went to college, started going to the college, curiosity came to me, and I started asking my great grandfather, Birdos Lama in Darjeeling, right, saying that, what is this all about? Then he used to say, then he gave me in uh, in Nepali, you call it Seto Dhamal, a flower, and in your own ethnic tribal language, you call it Mlagan Porpor, right? And I would say, where do you get it? Then he would say, oh, your great grandmother's brother comes all the way every year from a deep hills, and this flower blooms only in the month of April for about 8 days. So he grabs it and he brings it for all of us, right? Now, today, I feel that my grandfather, great grandfather would have been a Coca-Cola company, a Crosin company, of right. The only difficulty in not doing this was again education, right? Nobody bothered. State did not bother. Government did not be bothered. So what we are trying to do is, in Sikkim University, we started a project department known as ethnobotany and social medicine,
Okay.
where we would bring all these faith healers, tell us, what do you do with this? And test all these in modern scientific labs, right? Get some kind of patenting, commercialize it, and sell it in national and global market. All the universities, research institutes in the Northeast have to do this. We have a very significant Ayush ministry, but Ayush ministry looks after the entire country. India is a big country, right? They may not be able to capture the imagination. They may not be able to capture the intellectual heritage, right? Properties of the people of the Northeast and the communities there. So it is the universities in the Northeast, research institutes in the Northeast, private conglomerates in the Northeast, which has to really integrate the plants, the faith healers, their knowledge, what you call it, the labs, then patentings, then commercialization of it, right? For this, we need technological interventions. We need community conservations. We need all kinds of things. This is where Dr. Sama, when you said TMS, right? And there is a Nagoya Protocol of 2002 that really tells us about how to conserve our biodiversity. And I think this is where we stand. And today, if we start, even if we start this process just with one, two, three plants and medicines, I think we will make a huge difference. Unfortunately, many of our intellectual heritage, knowledge, have been surreptitiously smuggled, surreptitiously taken by countries, multinational pharmaceutical industries, uh, right? Even our genetic resources have been pilfered, have been surreptitiously taken away by international agencies and national agencies, and we don't have any any check mechanism. Therefore, our universities should do what they are good at. Why should we, our university, teach exactly what is taught in Mumbai University, Bombay University, or in Hyderabad University?
Absolutely.
Why? Why should they teach? I always say this. Why should we do? Why should our children study astrophysics only? Astrophysics can be studied anywhere in India, anywhere in the world, right? But we should really study our own resources, and entire world will come to us to study our own resources. This is why we have now floated an idea of mountain ports,
Okay.
right? You had only seaports so far. Everybody talk about seaports where you did, export, import, all kinds of businesses. But we would like to do mountain ports where we do business of knowledge, right? We call it Gyan Ko Kheti, that is business of knowledge. We will bring. We have lost our great grandfathers and great grandmothers. That's why we started projects like oral history. That means uh, that means grandfather passed away, grandmother crossed the horizon, took away two beautiful libraries. We shall not let it happen. This is what we have been saying this. And in the Northeast region, this is the right time to capture. This has entrepreneurship, this has investment activities, these are startup activities, these are these are education related, this is research related, technology related, this is market related, trade related, everything at one go. Can we do this in the
Wow.
Northeast region? This
Wow.
is a big challenge. And for this, Dr. Sharma, government has to go all out. If government has to bring someone from Vietnam in terms of technological interventions, if government has to bring someone from, say, Hitotsubashi University in Japan to do some kind of biodiversity modeling or biodiversity mapping, if government has to bring someone from Canada to study the folk medicines, or someone from Mumbai to or from or Allahabad to do this, we have to do it because this is the right time. We have lost, we don't want to lose anymore. And this will bring absolutely a new value addition to what Honorable Prime Minister keeps mentioning about 5 trillion economy. You have trillions and trillions of knowledge, wealth, goodwill in the Northeast. We must harness this.
Wow. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Beautiful canvas you have given and beautiful inputs you have given from world to world. That is something remarkable. Now, let's come specifically, because this particular program is India ASEAN series, and we are
Sure.
talking about Northeast. And today we are talking about education, skills, competencies, entrepreneurship, startup. Now, all the 10 countries which we have got in the ASEAN, how do you look at when we talk about education? How do you look at joint research, innovation, cultural, that means student exchange, faculty exchange, some other kind of an activities which we can take related to education with ASEAN and Northeast part of India.
See, the ASEAN is ASEAN has three very important features as of today. One is it is one of the fastest expanding markets,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
The global world is focusing on Southeast Asia.
Yes.
Number two, it has a pool of skilled manpower and institutions,
Ah,
right? And number three is it is very, very friendly as far as foreign investment participations or any foreign participations are concerned. I'll give you just one example.
mhm,
In the last 2 to 3 years,
mm,
the Japanese investors, big companies, including Sony, Panasonic, and all these companies, Toyota, right? All these companies who went to China and invested there and made so much of profit, made so much of excess, so much, such a big market, they have started withdrawing from China. And whoever is withdrawing from China, right, because of political reasons, because of strategic reasons, because of increasing labor costs, because of so many problems, right? All of them are not going back to Japan. All of them are not going back to America. Most of them are going to Southeast Asia, making them another center of another production sector. Say one of the most attractive um, geographies for these companies which are going out of China, which made huge China a hugely successful country in the last 30 years. The most of them are now going to countries like Vietnam, Thailand, to a certain extent, even Philippines and Indonesia and Singapore, right?
ah,
Therefore, it's very interesting to see that how the challenge is how the northeast part of India integrates, connects, and does business with the ASEAN countries, right? It could be on tourism, it could be on education, it could be on hospitality, health, anything, right? Therefore, there are very interesting factors which are pushing the Northeast region towards this. First is the connectivity. We will soon have what you call India, Myanmar, and Thailand multilateral, the trilateral highway, right? That means today you start from Assam and Manipur and reach Bangkok within next 48 hours, right? By straight away road. And this is going to be a multimodal transport route. For me, if I, as a student of economics, if I say this road would not be fully exploited by a trader or an industrialist from Goa, Madras, or even Gujarat, right? The only states which would be utilizing this road effectively would be 8 northeast states,
yes.
countries nearby Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal, right? So this is going to be an absolutely brilliant opening as far as the ASEAN market is concerned. Therefore, I would say at this stage that we must start two-way projects. One is bringing ASEAN to Northeast India, right? A Vietnamese can come and do coffee business in Tripura. A Thai can come and do textile business in Assam, right? A Laotian can come and do hydroelectricity business in Arunachal Pradesh, right, or in Sikkim. They are so good. They have specialized under the what you call the Greater Mekong Sub-Region projects, right? The best part in the entire game is the global multilateral players which made ASEAN, GMS, Greater Mekong Sub-region a successful venture. They are all here in the Northeast today. The Asian Development Bank, the World Bank, the UN agencies, the Japanese JICA, right? They are all here in the Northeast. So 10 years back, the Northeast used to be no go. Oh, ADB, you can't go. World Bank, you can't go to the Northeast. Today, it is all go situation in the Northeast. Anybody very inspiring for the people in the Northeast that ADB is going, spending, investing resources. World Bank is going. Ultimately, the model with which they developed ASEAN and GMS is going to be, to a large extent, replicated in the Northeast, and it will really open. Therefore, what we have to do, Dr. Sharma, is leadership,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Inspire young children,
Mm.
right? And thirdly, galvanize the institutions, right? We have large number of institutions. So this three-way mobilization process, mobilizing political leadership, galvanizing the institutions, and inspiring the young children would be of tremendous value, because in the course of next year, 10 years, we can really make a difference. So if we have to start seed projects, right? Let's not talk about big things, comprehensive things and all. Let us start seed projects. It's just one, two, three, four seed projects. We call it seed projects now. Our people, Northeast people, will go and start business with the Myanmaris just across the border on Piggery, right? Our Northeast institutions will go and connect with the institutions in Thailand and Philippines on, or Indonesia, on climate change, right? Therefore, it can be done, and we should start it. So seed projects on both sides of the borders. What will we do? What will they see? The Myanmaris, the Laotians, the Cambodians, if you have a good hospital, if you have a good university in, say, Meghalaya or in Sikkim or in Assam, they would love to come to Northeast. Culturally, is the same set of people, food wise, music wise, sports wise, enjoyment wise, nature wise, absolutely the same set of people, right? I think they would integrate with us so well that they will find it difficult to do so with Europe, with America, with African countries, or even with Latin American countries. But here is an open, and this used to be so culturally. If you see centuries back, right? The Ramayana tradition, the Mahabharata tradition, all very the ASEAN countries, either through the sea routes or through the pilgrimage routes of the Northeast region. This is how we reached Thailand, we reached Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and people celebrate this across that region today also.
Wow, great. So you
Yes,
see a great potential between Southeast Asia, the ASEAN countries, and the northeast part of India. In almost you have given a very broader dimension. Okay, what message? I would not ask you anything about 2035, your document, the vision document, and the action plan, what you are preparing with Niti Aayog. I will not ask you anything on that. You keep going on that. What message would you like to give? The new education policy 2020 has come. It's more learning centric. Teachers got to equip themselves very well with the new pedagogies, with the new andragogies and technology. They got to adopt everything in a very systematic way. So, how do you look at the whole scenario, and what message would you like to give to our educators and the youth in the northeast part of India? From the new education policy, when I talk about NEP 2020, this new education policy.
See, I would say the new education policy has been floated. There are very transforming policies in some parts of the entire policy. Say, for example, interdisciplinary programs. One student can jump from one discipline to another. We practiced this in Sikkim University almost 13 years back. Today, it is a national project, which is very, very interesting. The second interesting feature is about the skill part of it, the capacity building part of it. It is not a mere degree. You can work, come back, earn your degree within 10 years. This also we did in Sikkim University. And that's how we said that our children would get degree plus. It is not a mere degree. It is a degree plus situation. Degree plus means anything, skills to extra knowledge to competitive spirit to anything, right? So this is the right moment. I would like our children, our political leadership in the Northeast, and our institutions to grab opportunities after opportunities. Say, for example, today, the Northeast region has a huge opportunity as far as water management is concerned, right? There is a serious problem as far as water is concerned. Indus water problem between India and Pakistan. You have a Brahmaputra problem between India and China. You have a Tista River projects, Ganges River projects between India and Bangladesh. You have a problems with Kosi, Gandak with Nepal. You have several problems. In all these, one of the major issues which is going to come up is how do you manage water resources? And no geography in India can really propound the cause of better management of water resources than the Northeast India. The water tower, Tibet is just up there, right? When I was in Tibet, just when I was doing my yatra of Kailas and Mansarovar, we went through a number of geographies from Tibet, Lhasa to Sigat to Ganse to Sigatse, then to Saga, then to Tharchen village, then further to Ali, right? And on the way, we found where Brahmaputra actually originates, where Indus actually originates, Inka Udgam Sthal, right? So we found Udgam Sthal of all these things. But we also saw that number of tributaries that would feed water to Ganges, to Brahmaputra, to Indus, they are drying up. Where is the discussion? Northeast states, that's why Northeast states, today India requires a set of critical skills as far as hydro diplomacy is concerned,
Okay.
right? And Northeast would be the best venue for generating a set of critical mass of hydro diplomats, how to negotiate water, what to negotiate water, how to resolve conflict as far as water, how to utilize water in the best possible manner, how to generate hydropower process without any community resistance, how to sell electricity, how to do the power pooling, right? Transit of power, all kinds of things about water related, about green energy, right? Renewable energy. And I think the message is very, very clear today that do what? You must do that where you have competence, core competence, and where you have comparative advantage. This is the message today. And I think our children, our institutions, political leaders are fast catching up with this. Climate change. No geography in India could lead the nation as far as mountain, the impact of the climate change on the mountain areas, which is so very critical, right? So very critical in understanding the environmental migrants from Bangladesh to rest of South Asia, right? In understanding environmental refugees from Myanmar to other parts of Southeast Asia. Therefore, this is very, very important. I would say, Dr. Sharma, therefore, that we have a great opportunity at the moment. Our educational institutions have to really get up. Our political leadership has to think big. And I think one of the issues, one of the critical issues that we need to really uh, invest a lot of resources in education. Bandwidth. This is for the first time you were mentioning in the beginning about internet education through web. For the first time, the people in the Northeast realized that there is a huge signal gaps. The bandwidth is so poor, inaccessible, right? Even in a place like Imphal, in a place like Kohima, or even in a place like Itanagar, right? I can't compare. Here we are talking in Delhi about 4G and 5G, whereas even 2G has not reached many parts of the Northeast today. How do you tackle this? You can't have such a huge signal gaps or bandwidth gap between Northeast and rest of India. So government is very clearly thinking that instead of bringing this bandwidth all the way 2,000 kilometers away from Madras and Mumbai, why not we access sea cables bandwidth through the what you call the Bay of Bengal through Bangladesh? And this has been done. 10 um, uh, Gbps bandwidth has been now brought through to Tripura for giving Bangladesh, 100 megawatt of electricity through Palatana project in Tripura, in Udaipur, and they have given us some kind of bandwidth. So can this bandwidth through sea cables brought can it be brought from what you call the Southeast Asia, ASEAN countries, and also from Bay of Bengal, and make Northeast as one of the fastest growing what you call it web centers or internet run business activities and also challenges. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Professor Mahindra Lamajili. It was a wonderful to interact with you. Thank you very much for giving such a detailed, complete profile of everything. We wish you all the best for your Honorable Prime Minister's Vision Document 2035. Keep working on that, and we will be looking forward to see that document in public after some time. All the best. Thank you very much, and all the best
Thank
wishes.
you.
All the best wishes to our teachers, our principals, our educators, our youth from the Northeast and ASEAN, those joined today. I wish to inform all of you that every Sunday at 3 p.m., we have got India ASEAN series, and with a special focus on Northeast part of India. Thank you very much. Wishing you all a wonderful Happy New Year.